The world isn't falling apart, it's falling into place. Hey guys, it's John sitting here in the studio with a mug of water. Now, the world is not falling apart. If you turn on the news, it looks like everything's burning. But what if I told you that it's actually healing? That this disruption isn't destruction, it's a birth of pangs of something new. It's the growing pains of something that's better that is coming. There's a spiritual truth that order always arises from chaos. Nature teaches us that forest fires renew the land and storms clear the air. And Jeshua said, "Do not be afraid." He didn't say because everything looks perfect, but because everything is becoming, everything's happening. To say to someone, "Do not be afraid," means there must be stimulus for there to be afraid of. And the reality of it is that, as the Buddha would say, the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear. Letting go of the fears and the anxieties is about the process of turning into a more loving world. What's interesting is the people who are so invested in the fear-based ideologies and the fear-based stimulus that's coming from the people who are perpetuating it, they're the ones who are fighting, say, no, but this is true. But in the moment, it's just fear. Nothing's happening. It's this moment we're creating something. Until we break the fear cycle itself, we cannot move forward. Jeshua said, be not afraid, because he knew things didn't look perfect. Everything that was becoming into reality, and that our core essence, our core being, is about cleaning up some of those messes. Awakening is messy. Awakening, it shakes out the false beliefs and the false ideologies, and then suddenly this new truth of a more beautiful world appears. Division, conflict, unrest are just symptoms of an old way dying. We see these things reacting. People get very angry at these things that are happening, but all of that is because they're trying to hold on to something or to reinstitute something that was already let go of, or trying to bring something back that's already been let go of. And it's the old way dying. And, Socrates said, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. That idea of slander being the tool of the loser means that they're losing. When you have that moment, you're going to have those disruptions. You're going to have that struggle. You can't clean a wound without scrubbing out the infection. But the infection will often fight back against the antibiotics. It'll often fight back, and you've got to renew and refresh and keep going back to the things that make a perfect. Old systems of politics and religion and even cultural ideas are cracking because they no longer serve love. And the world is becoming more loving. And that's so easy to prove. You just look at our children. They're not racist. They're not homophobic. They're becoming more beautiful, more loving, more caring. And they're the ones who are going to inherit the earth. The people who are struggling right now, if you really step back and look, it's the older people. It's the people who are struggling with their past and all of the issues of their world. And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com. But this shift in consciousness that's happening is real. More people are questioning dogma. They're choosing kindness and tuning into being present. That's why you hear words like mindfulness. It's about being present. The concept of the internet is fascinating. People are like, oh, it's such a terrible thing, but it's brought down barriers, and we've talked to people all over the world now. I do private sessions here helping people step into their own divinity, step into their own power of creation. And I talk to people all over the world. There's no border, there's no boundary between our Zoom call. There's me speaking to a single person on the other end who wants to create a more loving world, who wants to be part of that loving world, and who wants to understand that they are divine and they are worthy, and they're not guilty, and they're not wrong for wanting a loving world. See, what the cracks are how the light gets in. When we start breaking down the barriers of old beliefs and old ideologies, the cracks show up because we show their falsehood, we show their fallacies. And when those cracks happen, that's how the light gets in. And what's interesting is the more you create those cracks, the more cracks there are, and the more light gets in, and everything gets brighter and brighter. But it may still seem dark in the process. But eventually, those cracks will be so much that there's no structure left to the old idea, and the cracks crumble and create the brighter future. Now, so what is your role in all of this? You can't be a bystander. Your inner peace ripples out. Your choice to be love and love in a loving world ripples out. And the world's changing in a much more beautiful way. And Jeshua taught the kingdom starts within, that all clarity begins in you, that you're the one who has to step into that loving world and to be the love that is God. If you anchor yourself in love and not fear, you're not going to panic. You're going to start to guide. And when I say guide, I mean you're going to start to show people what your actual ideas are. You're going to start to show people that what love is. And when they start seeing that love, they'll start being that love, because that love is what they've all been wanting. Everyone wants an unconditionally loving world, except for the people who are mired in fear and darkness. But when you ask anybody in the world what's most important to them, the first thing they say is their family. And what is a family? A family is the direct representation of love in the physical world. And so they are literally saying love is the most important thing to me. You can't be fooled by the noise. The bad stuff gets the better press. It always does, because that's what makes people look. If you go on YouTube right now and you look at all of the things, even look at my videos. My video, if you look at my video, my thumbnail says one title, but there's another title that's on the YouTube description. Now, why do I have two different titles? It's actually very simple. It's my thought of the video is on the thumbnail. My my title for the algorithm is about reaching people to put them on a path. But you can't reach people to put them on a path without going to their path, without meeting them where they are. And I very specifically do not put fear-based ideas in those titles, but I do put emotion-inducing, like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, this is amazing, this is, I put in things like that. I specifically stay out of the fear-based ideologies. But that title is to meet people where they are and bring them over to me. Don't be fooled by the noise. You've got to create worlds by creating cracks in the old world. And beneath those cracks is a new harmony that is forming in humanity. And you're not witnessing the end. You're witnessing an awakening. You're literally witnessing the birth of a new loving world, and the children are proving it. They're proving it to us every day. And we have the ability to be a part of creating those cracks and bringing in the light. And you have that ability to start that in any given moment. And so take today and start being the love that you want to see in the world, and letting go of all the birth pangs of an old world that's cracking and falling away. Stay here now, be love, and watch the love surround you. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.